Welcome. So we've been going through relationships the past couple of weeks, and one of the things that's really pertinent, I'll go with pertinent, is how we connect, how each of our charts interacts with other people. And like we looked at the love gates last time, and that's always juicy, and I don't even remember what we did the time before that seems so long ago. But one of the ways that we connect with each other is through the lines, through these channels. And we're gonna keep going into it because I know this is new information, at least for some. So there's 4 different ways that we can connect with people through these interactions. I'm trying to think of where to start. There's dominance. Dominance is when one person has a whole channel and the other person doesn't have any of it. Okay? So if you were to look at your charts, I have the whole channel of the 59-6. If you have none of that, the 59-6 is a pretty intense channel to carry because it is all about intimacy. It's energy for emotion, energy connecting with emotion. Okay? And the 59 itself is called the aura buster. So I have, as someone who carries this whole channel, I have this capacity just by being, not by doing anything, of getting emotionally close to people. Okay? Now, what I can tell you about me is that if people don't get emotionally close with me, I find them boring pretty quickly. It's just true. Like if people are kind of standoffish and aloof, and they have to be really interesting some other way to gather my attention. It doesn't mean we have to have emotional drama, but it's just, let's get a little closer than, how are you today? I'm fine. You know, I did my laundry and blah, blah, blah. Now, do you have your chart? You can look at your chart. I know you do. You have your chart. You guys have your charts. Does anybody have anything in this arena? You have which one?
I have from the 6.
You have the 6. So everybody else doesn't have anything. You have the 6. You have the 6 as well.
Is that the first number you hit in the corner?
Well, this is the 59 and this is the 6. So
Oh, I
I'm
have
looking
those
at
too. I have that
specifically
too.
this channel. You have the whole channel?
59 and 6.
He has the whole channel too. He laughed when I said, if you're not going to get emotionally close with me. I mean, I already feel like I've bonded with people even in this class over, you know, a couple of weeks, right?
But with all of us in here, we're all filled in probably.
Well, that's a different story. So, when Martine and I are near each other, we have what's called companionship. He's got the whole thing, I've got the whole thing. We probably are at ease with that aspect of each other. As a matter of fact, quite a number of my very close friends have that whole channel. I find it easy to be with. Other people find it very intense. Now, if you have none of it, then I have a dominance, or Martine has a dominance. That means we have the whole channel, you've got nothing. Mm-hmm. What I have found in my experience with this is that at first people really like it. Often. Sometimes people don't like it at all, and that's, I don't know them, so. But a lot of times people really like that aspect of me, and I've had a lot of people tell me in my life, oh, Tiara, I can feel closer to you, and I can talk to you about things and feel connected with you in ways I don't feel connected with anyone else. I kind of feel connected with a lot of people that way. And I have another friend that's the only channel she has, and she says people say that to her as well. Like, I can be intimate with you. And when I say intimacy, it's not sexual. There is a thing that's called sexual intimacy. I'm not talking about that. Now, on the other hand, when you have half of the channel and I have the whole thing, a couple of things can happen. If you have half of the channel and I have the whole channel, and getting the whole channel fills you in a way that feels good, like this could connect you up to a split or give you access to your sacral or to your emotions, which you don't usually have, it'll feel really good. But what's going to happen inevitably is that the part that you bring, I am going to think is irrelevant. Now, because I know the mechanics of human design, it's something that I would make a point to be aware of. But in general, and when I didn't know human design, it would never occur to me to even think about that I'm doing intimacy and you'd like to put your intimacy thing in there with me, but I don't need you. I can do what I do with anybody, right? My ex-husband had that. And he truly and honestly thought I was having affairs our whole relationship, and I never did. But he would look out into the world and see me doing intimacy with other people. He thought I was having affairs with women, right? He was very jealous. And he would see me doing a quality of being close to people emotionally that was the same as what I did with him, and he would decide that he knew what that meant about me and other people and all of this stuff. And I didn't know human design when I was married to him, so there was nothing we could do about it. Now I'm bringing up this one because it's a dramatic channel and it illustrates. This is going on in any channels that we have that going on.
What's the difference? So you mentioned the emotional fulfilling. Is it both together, or is there a differentiation between 59 and 6?
There's very much a difference, and particularly, I guess we're going there. I didn't even know I was going to start with the 59-6. I just did. People who have the 59, even if they don't have the 6, tend to have some ability to get closer and bust through people's auras. That quality is there. If we go to pure genetics, this is about breaking through the aura to make a baby. This is called the channel of mating.
Oh, that's the mating channel. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The 6, on the other hand, is the pH. And it closes or it opens. It's closed, it's open. It's closed, it's open. So if we were to become close, you might notice that there's sometimes where I'm really not emotionally available. It's actually a lot of times, but mostly I'm introverted and you don't see me then, so it's not an obvious part of most of my relationships. Now what's difficult
Do you want to squeeze it over here?
Sure, thank you.
come on in.
Sure.
You're gonna go over there, okay. What's difficult, hi.
Hi.
Do you know human design at all?
I do. a little
Okay,
bit.
good. What we're looking at right now is the channel connections. So if you have the same channel, if you don't have any of it, if you have half and someone has the whole thing. So we're kind of in the middle of that, but I'll post this and you can go back and take a look. And hi,
Hi.
do you know human design?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay. So just because I'm on a roll with the 59-6 and I brought this up, someone who has the 6 needs to be the one who says yes or no to being available to intimacy. And for the most part, with most people that you have relationships with, friendships with, you can do that. But if you're hanging out with someone who has the whole channel, I'll bust right through. Now, if I was hanging out with you, Lewis, I'd probably be a little aware, knowing you're a reflector and knowing you have the 6 and knowing who I am and all of that. But again, I might not, because I don't even necessarily know that this energy is coming off of me, right? So when you have half of the channel, which is just a gate, and you are with someone who has the whole thing, what it's called is you are compromised.
Say that again?
You are compromised. I compromise you. Because you have to compromise to my having the whole thing.
Okay.
Or we can talk about it, but from a purely mechanical level, someone who has that whole channel just has more of that energetic, and it's just what is. You can't really overcome it.
And so when someone has none of it.
When someone has none of it, which I think is you, is that right?
He has 6.
Right. So with you, Tony, I would hopefully be aware that you might be giving me signals that you're not available for me coming on in emotionally. One of my very best friends has this, and I have had experiences with her that I did not pay attention, I'm going to say, that I was crossing her boundary. She said no fucking thing to me, which I wish she had, until the point where she took her energy and hit me with it so hard that it took me 3 months to recover. And this is not an exaggeration. I went down. And I have looked back on that experience and gone, I think her 6 was closing. I was just, my little bubbly emotional self, engaging until she just pushed me as hard as she could push with her emotional energy to get me gone. And she got me gone.
Your whole channel is conscious, yeah?
My whole channel is conscious, yes.
Okay.
And her emotional channel is unconscious. So she did that, and it's taken her 6 years to admit it.
Was there any harmony or resonance in the lines?
Yes.
There was.
Yes. I have the 59.1 and the 59.6. My 6 is a 6.2, so I don't have harmony or resonance with myself, but she has the 6.1.
Oh.
So it would be even more natural for me to go into her.
Yeah. Okay.
Good
So what
question.
happens if someone has the 6, the other person doesn't have that gate, but they create the emotions together that neither one of them had? And they only connect up through a different channel instead of like from the emotions over to...
Well, anyone who has the 6 needs to have some sovereignty in being emotionally available or not.
Okay.
It's just what is. So that would be you. And that's kind of what she's asking, because Tony is not emotionally defined.
Okay, so you do have
So
the 6 and
he
no emotions.
he's married to someone who's emotionally defined.
So that's where you get it.
So that's something that even though you don't have anything in here, there are times when he just is not going to be available to be emotional with you, not simply because he's open emotionally, but because he really doesn't have that capacity. It shuts. It really does that thing. And that's a fabulous thing to be aware of.
That's been
And
one
then
of
you
the
can
most-
just call me.
Well, that's been one of the most enlightening things so far that we've discovered
Nice.
through the class.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been really
Yeah.
great.
What about if you had the same numbers? Like the 59, the 6, and the 59 and the 6?
Well, you have the 59.6, so do I.
And my ex-girlfriend, 59 and 6.
It's nice. As I say, a lot of my closest friends that I've had for years have that channel. And to me, it seems, people who don't have that channel or just have half of it, from what I can gather, think it's a really big thing. Like I've met people, oh, you're a 59.6. It's like, wow. To
You're
me-
really gonna like me.
To me, it just seems the most normal thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like when I meet someone, like you came in and you seem like kind of groovy and natural to me.
Yeah, let's get
and
the
now
party
I can
started.
see right away we found that
Yeah.
out, that was, and that's called companionship. Companionship is the easiest one. Unless you don't like something about yourself, but then you probably need some therapy, so. That was a joke. Maybe.
Maybe. It's a joke. You're offended as a joke.
If you think about it, the people that you feel most at ease just kind of hanging out with are people that you feel at home with, people that are just like you in some way. Often the people we are most attracted to, sexually particularly, are the people who are different from us. Oh, you're that. Yum. Right? We'll get there in a second, because that's tricky business. So when you have the whole thing and someone doesn't have any of it, that's dominance. If I'm a 59.6 and you, Sophie, have none of that, and you like that about me, we're cool. You might not always like it, and you can use your words. But if you generally like that, then it's a good relationship. Just like if I generally like that 3740 about you, because I don't have anything in there, it's like, yeah, she's got that ego. I got to remember that she's going to be wanting a good bargain, you know. Then we can be good friends and be at ease with each other, because you are that and I am this, and we can be accepting of that. The one that feels the juiciest is called electromagnetic, and that's a little bit what you were saying. When one person has one half and the other person has the other half. Okay? Those are called electromagnetics. Electromagnetics at first, especially, feel like, oh, you have that? I have this. Let's do that together. Right? And some of them are juicier than others. Like, you know, when you meet someone who has that 59, it's like, ooh, baby, right? Because that has its own extra added sexual quality to it. But any electromagnetic is going to feel juicy. But it's also prime real estate for projection. Okay? So imagine the very stiff upper class Brit who kind of holds himself in, meets that flamboyant Italian who's just like abbondanza, right? And they're like, wow. You know, and the Brit goes, when I'm with you, I just feel so alive, right? And the Italian goes, oh, when I'm with you, I can just kind of relax. But then, you know, 3.5 years later, it's like, why are you always so dramatic? Why do you never share your feelings? Right? So that field of what feels so much fun can turn into, oh my God, I can't stand this anymore. So when you're looking at relationships, and you know, if you look at this whole milieu, a lot of people run toward electromagnetics. Hi, honey. And because it's very attractive, and they build a whole relationship on it that really doesn't have that strong of a foundation, because there's just so much not alike that comes up. So what you want is enough of that there's the juice. Because if you're just with someone who's completely like you, there's not as much juice. But you also want enough likeness that you could just kind of sit on the couch and watch a movie and not have to be fighting all the time about your drama and my lack of emotion, which would actually not be me, but anyway. Do you get where I'm going with this? Yeah. So what I was imagining we could do is look at some specific charts and see who we have relationships with. We could do it with each other, because we at least have our own charts. And if you brought anyone else's charts, Look at there. Let's start with you guys, because you even have them printed out.
Color and everything.
Does anyone have any questions, especially people who are new? Because you kind of came in once we started.
I'm in the middle of it.
Oh, my turn.
So basically, I'm going to do a little recap. What we're looking at, let me see your chart.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's supposed to be for you.
She'll probably come back.
Trying to make it bigger.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Cassie.
Cassie?
I don't think they have my name.
So basically what we're looking at, in your case, anyone, that'll just be too tedious to go through all of that. We'll go through it as we go.
Okay.
But what we're looking at is when you look at anything that you have that's a whole channel, and it doesn't get bigger, does it? I have another app that you could go, but this whole channel is at the 2 to the 14.
Get bigger here.
There. So the 2 to the 14, that's a whole channel. This 10 to the 20, that's your 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone who has either of those.
Or the 43.
Oh yeah, the 4323. Do we have 4323 in here? We do. Someone.
I do.
That's who it is. So the 4323, you both have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a delightful little channel called Genius to Freak.
I've heard that, but
What does that mean?
Sounds right.
I
Sounds
think I
right.
start rock and roll
Can
band.
I be the genius or do I have to be the
It feels
freak?
right, but I don't know.
Those are called structuring too.
The
Very
the
different
channel
vibe. Explains a lot.
2343 up here, it's called Genius to Freak because
Where's it at?
you are incredibly original thinkers, and most of us are not. We just have in our heads what other people have put in there for the most part. But you do have originality in your mind. And what makes you a genius versus a freak is if you can structure your language in order to communicate so that other people can understand you. And then you can bring forth your genius. If you haven't yet learned to communicate in a structured way, then you're just a freak, but we might like you anyway. But that's kind of what the slang of that is. So anyone else who has that same channel,
I have the 43. My whole head's filled.
okay, so anyone else who has the whole channel, you have what's called companionship. You could hang out together, and neither one of you would probably overwhelm the other with your freaky genius thoughts.
Sounds like a good time.
I don't know what you might do together. I have a bunch of friends who have this because I actually enjoy this channel. The other thing about that particular channel is that it's deaf. It doesn't listen well, in case people have said, you don't listen to me. It's true, and the reason for that is because you are not designed to be influenced by other people. You are designed to have originality in your own mind.
What's that number?
However, it is nice for the rest of us, if you're not listening, to let us know. I just can't pay attention to that right now. I don't have the capacity to listen right now. Because there's other parts of you that do listen. But when you're in that, original, like maybe when you're doing a lot of your creative mental work, you probably have very little capacity for listening.
That's true.
And it's nice to tell us, because then we can not. So then you have half of
Get
it.
that? Don't know what it means.
What that means is when you're with one of these two, they don't need your contribution to their freaky genius process.
How rude.
Now, there are a lot of people who have this
Yep.
not connected to this.
Yep.
Is that true for you? Is that true for you?
Well, yeah, I don't have that. The throat, I don't have. We
Can
have
you
it together.
can you show me your chart that doesn't have
I
anyone
don't.
else?
Can't find it in my phone.
Oh, okay. So are
I
you
have
green
his
or
chart
blue?
and my chart. I think I'm the blue channels. He's got the 23, I have the 43. My head's filled in. This is my
Okay,
channel right here.
so that's a prime example.
Together
A
we
number
go.
of people have a split between the ajna and the throat because there's just not that many channels here. So there's a lot of people who have this bit of themselves split off from the rest. And so in Kristen's case, she has the 43, but not the 23. But now she has this new guy she's super excited about, and he has the 23.
And we hook up from the crown
What's
to
that?
the sacral all the way.
You have
Which one is this? What's that one called?
right?
The open
And
one?
she has the 43.
That's the
Ego.
heart? That's the ego.
Ego, heart, will center.
Okay.
Now, one thing about being a split definition, I'm segueing,
Yeah, you.
is that what it feels like when you're a split definition is that you need something to complete you.
In this half.
That's actually your not self mind telling you something that is not true. What you are designed for is to be a split and see how that works. You're here to see what is that 23. When I meet that 23, what do they bring? Not to get hooked up into that and think you need that. Okay. So that's an example of companionship
Okay.
and compromise. Okay? Dominance, once again, both of you have dominance. I don't have the 23 or the 43. So I either like that about you or I don't. I happen to like that. There are certain channels I like better than others. I like that one. I tend to shy away from people who are defined in their head business because I'm very overwhelmed by it a lot. I can have people just thinking things near me and feel like I can't even find my own thoughts. But because these two in the middle are so original, it's different. It feels more creative. It feels more, not that they're listening to anything I have to say, but at least they're interesting in what they're saying.
It's something.
Something. Okay.
We could say that about pretty much all individuality, yeah?
Yes, I would say that about pretty much all individuality. I'm actually quite attracted to individuality. I don't have any individual channels. And individuality, so anything going right down the middle, that's all individual circuitry. The
always on the
middle
middle.
here is individual circuitry. The middle here is individual circuitry with those little offshoots. Anyone who has that circuitry brings individuality, and I like it because it's individuality that is mutative, that is transformational. The rest of it is just kind of stays what it is until the individuality comes and sparks us with something new on whatever quality is there. So there's dominance. You have dominance over me in that. Companionship. You have companionship there. Compromise. You have compromise. And then the other one is electromagnetics, which we were talking about with Kristen. She has half of the channel, and this.
I think Bates, you have 43, he has 20.
There you go.
Oh, okay, cool.
There you
So,
go.
is the compromise harder on the person who has the hanging gate?
The compromise is absolutely harder on the one who has the hanging gate.
And is it imperceptible to the person with the channel?
Pretty much.
Oh. Okay.
Well done. And when you are compromised by someone, you will feel it, they will not. And it is the biggest thing that will ruin a relationship.
So if you have a lot of channels.
If you have a
Could be
lot of
annoying.
channels, I already like where your mind is going with this. You're
I'm a-
absolutely right.
I'm a master of compromise.
It's a tiny bit different with reflectors, and if you have something to say, I'd be really curious, because they're compromised all the time. That's part of their deal because they don't have any channels. But I have noticed that people who have a lot of I have 3 channels. Boom, boom, boom. That's not a lot. 3, 4 is kind of a, I hate to say anything is average, but it's not uncommon to have 3 or 4 channels. When you get up to 5 and 6 channels, that's a lot. It's more than what a lot of people have, and you are going to be compromising a lot of people.
How do you do that more consciously?
So that's what I want to kind of go into some of this minutia when we can look at some of like some actual examples. Like I was saying with my friend who almost killed me because I wasn't paying attention to her compromise. I'm now very cautious around her. I'm very wary. There's nothing I can do about my mechanic. My mechanic of intimacy is going to go in. It's doing it right now, right? It's just doing it. It's different in a group because you're a little safer if you happen not to care for it. But there's nothing I can do except take myself out of the room, which I do a lot with her. Like now when I'm hanging out with her, if I feel that energy building up that starts to feel aggressive, I leave the room like within less than 2 seconds, less than 20 seconds. It's like, nope, whatever I just did, you didn't like it, and I'm out of here. I'm gone now. That's an extreme example. I would start taking a look, and let's just take a look at some of that.
Can we see
Right.
maybe compromise and integration?
Yeah.
So can you compromise somebody and they still have half of the gate, but you have the whole gate?
That's
They're still compromised.
they have the gate, you have the channel, is what compromise is. A gate goes halfway, it's just one number.
Okay.
The channel is the whole thing.
Okay.
So when one person has the channel and the other person has the gate, they are compromised, the one that just has the gate. That
But
is
doesn't
what
make
we're
it
talking
better,
about.
It makes it worse.
And at first it can feel good. As I say, it might complete their split, or it might give them access to something that they don't normally have. I know a lot of people, here's another thing that's it's just part of the human experience. My son is right here in the 44. I know a lot of people who have the whole channel 2644. Where your son is 70% of who you are. So it's one of the harder things to enjoy being compromised in. So why do I have so many friends with that? You want to know why? Anyone want to venture a guess?
Because you're good at handling it.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
I don't know.
My mother had it.
Oh.
So there's something in my little baby psyche that feels at home. Whereas if she hadn't, I probably wouldn't like those people very much. Yeah, so that's something in human design that is a wild card.
You were taking that conditioning
Good
in
to
the
know.
womb.
I was taking that conditioning in the womb. That's right. That's right. And so that's something like if you really get into doing readings in human design and stuff, you could come up against something and go, well, I don't know why that would be. And if you go a little deeper into someone's history, you can find that stuff. Kind of, it's almost ridiculous, and there it is. We're humans. So who would like to give us some examples? I was going to say you two because I know you have the charts.
We have 3 compromises.
Okay.
One is 2838, 4323, and 2750.
Okay. So, and who has the whole? Just pick one of them. Pick one of them, and we'll look at it.
Maybe just the first one, 2838.
You have that whole one, Tony.
I have half of 28.
So Tony has the whole 2838, and you have the 28.
Correct.
Now that one's a tricky one too. But let's start and pretend we don't know about the love gate, and then we'll bring that in. So basically the 2838 is called the channel of struggle. And let me tell you, the struggle is real. I am not kidding. People that have the 2838, you know, it can be anything from I fucking lose my keys all the time to I'm struggling with the deepest meaning of life and I can't figure out why I'm alive. The 28 is the risk to find meaning, and the 38 is I will stand up and fight for my right.
Where's that from?
So when you have the risk for meaning meeting the fight for my right, it becomes the channel of struggle. Now, I was married to one of these myself. I have the 28. And I'll tell you what, our whole marriage, his struggle was so much more important than mine in his mind. Like my struggle didn't really enter into his mind at all, as far as I could tell, from my compromised position. Do you have any feeling about anything like that?
I think his care channel says.
Yeah, well, no, my husband had that too.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I will say I have 38 defined 5 times, and all of my past relationships, that's pretty much true.
Had the whole channel?
No, I have 38 defined 5
Right.
times, and when I'm in relationships, it's difficult for me to,
You have the 38 5 times.
I'm being honest.
So what does it do? So what happens?
Yeah, what happens?
Yeah.
Well, usually it's
Have you
like-
been in a relationship with someone who has the whole channel?
Probably. I'd have to go back and look at the myriad of charts, but usually it's like, you know, there's always something happening in my inner world that I'm trying to deal with, and it's really difficult for me to get beyond that. Then I'm trying not to use the word considerate of the other person, because I tend to be also very considerate of people's inner worlds, but it's difficult for me to do both at the same time. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like I got to take care of myself first and get through that struggle, and if I don't, I'm not making it over there. You know what I
Got
mean?
it.
It's just not happening. Yeah.
Got it.
And do you have the emotions defined too?
No.
No, I'm a totally open emotional
Okay.
center.
I was hoping maybe that would help, but.
Yeah. It would
So
help.
do you-
But yeah.
We're going to get to the electromagnetic. This is a juicy channel too. I love this channel. Do you find that Tony struggles a lot? Does he go through stuff that's kind of a consuming part of who he is?
I don't think it registers for him on an emotional level, but on an
It's not an emotional thing.
existential.
It is existential. That's a good word for it. Well, maybe not for you.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot shapes like the time in life that we met, and then things that have happened that create like significant life questions, you know, transitions, identity shifts, location shift. There's just been a lot of that for us in general,
Yeah.
and then both of us trying to figure out who we are now, how to care for ourselves now, like a lot of reformation, side by side, you know, together and individually, and so.
Yeah, I would agree. Like it does feel like it's a struggle to figure out how I do me, how I do with her, how we do with us, how you know, like finding where all that, how that.
So you
works.
recognize the struggle of how to put all of that together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have a little channel?
He has the whole channel.
Interesting,
Yeah.
So what's the strategy to deal with the 38? Like, can you just say, okay, fuck it, too much mind function? Or what can you do?
Well, you can always say that.
I can tell you
The
what I
thing
would
that
say.
you can do, there's one thing you can do, and one thing only: strategy and authority. And if you ask me any question, that will be the answer. Strategy and authority. Wait to respond. Make good decisions. For generators. Wait
Talking
a
about
moon
What are you,
cycle for a
generator or
reflector.
projector, or what are
I'm
you?
a projector.
Wait for an invitation for a projector. It is the only safety that lies in this world. Period. That's all there is. And a lot of getting into a relationship, whether it's going to be sustainable or not, is how you enter it. So like for the two of you, Tony is open emotionally and you are defined emotionally. And so he might have known right away, that's my girl, right? Uh-huh. And you're like, I don't know. I kind of feel it, I kind of don't. That would be correct for you. Whether you did that or not, we don't know. But if Tony was listening to his sacral, I want to be with you, and that was accurate. And if you waited until you had an emotional clarity about being with him, then the compromises are not going to be as severe as if his body said, which isn't really and you just jumped in right away. Then those compromises are going to really fuck with you because you didn't enter correctly into the relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
So then what's the...
So then what? Well, the only thing you can really do, and you're doing it, is discover how you are designed to operate and start doing that. And recognizing the other in the same way. Like, he's great. He's got this great sacral. Just ask him yes/no questions, and she's really sexy and yummy, so enjoy it, but don't expect her to get answers quick. Like, really, really accept that she's an emotional creature and must go through her ups and her downs to know anything that's true for her.
So what happens if you take two people who are open in the emotions, and then when they're together, they form the emotions all onto themselves?
Well, then they're still not emotionally defined, but their relationship can feel emotional. Their relationship will go through ups and downs.
But they don't. One person's not the emotions, and the other one's empty.
No, they're not like in this case. If Sophie is feeling emotions, Tony will be amplifying them. Be aware of that. Keep reminding yourself that what you think she's feeling is not correct. You may have the genre, but not the intensity accurate.
So if you form it together, then the intensity's the same.
It's different with everybody. It would have to be.
Yeah.
You,
Okay.
you have to see, what channel it is, what lines each person has in the channel, your relationship with the energy of that channel, all of that stuff.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. There's not really little cookie cutters.
Answer on that. Okay.
Yeah. But the basic teaching is your relationship is emotional. So it will go through ups and downs. Yeah. Now, if you have the 28, let's say you started being friends with Nolan over there, he has the 38. That's when you hook up together. Okay? I know a lot of 38s. I like 38s actually, because they'll struggle with me to get through something. Where a lot of people will just back away from me because I can be too intense. The 38 will hang in there with me. I have a friend who lived in Amsterdam, and I went to visit him. He's a 38, I'm a 28. And he had this weird thing going on that he would look at me and frown at me. Like he would get this distasteful look on his face, right? Apparently he didn't know he was doing it, but it was very upsetting to me. I did not like, he'd turn and look at me as if I was a turd or something. I said, you have to stop doing that. And he kept doing it. And I turned to him one day and I said, if you look at me like that again, I'm going to punch you, right? And he did, and I punched him in the arm. And it broke it. And it was like this 28, 38. I'm like, dude, stop it. And then he finally stopped it. It's like it finally got through to him that he was doing it. But I think if he wasn't a 38, that might not have worked as well. Now, here's the funny thing about the 28, because I also know a lot of 28, 38s who have the whole channel, and it compromises me. I married one, right? Remember from last week, the 28 is a love gate. And it's the love that says, work this out with me. fight with me so that we can find meaning with this, not just fight with me and go away and then we're just left stranded in our own unresolved issue. And so what I've realized is that when I'm with someone who has the whole channel, they don't really notice what I'm going through. But they will work things out with me, so my love gate gets its fulfillment, and I still am friends with them.
So what are all the love gates?
That's last week. You can. It's on my YouTube channel.
Oh, you have your handout. Tara, your handout that you sent us for the love gates. That was very helpful.
Was it good?
Yeah.
That was actually my notes for when I did this class quite a while ago. So good. I'm glad.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi. Do you want to say anything about? You don't remember being compromised though there, in that. I would imagine you would not like that
I know for
compromise.
sure. Yeah, no way. I know
That
there's-
would not be
I
fun.
can remember people that have the whole channel that I stay away from.
Yeah. There we have it. Because the 38 is not a love gate. So he can't hang out with those people and go, oh, but the love's there.
Yeah, no.
You
there's
know,
no
that
benefit.
weird love that
Right.
will fight and
Right.
find meaning together. Yeah.
Well, because my son is, what, 58, right?
Yeah.
And so my son's like, no way.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any, like,
Not
me
going
being,
there.
being able to, you know,
Yeah.
no transformation either. No
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at another one that you know about. Was it the 2343?
There's the 4323 and the 2750.
The 2750, let's go there. The 2750, that's Tony. So he compromises you, all three of them?
Um,
Where's 27?
Does he have the 2343? Is he the one with
Well,
that?
I have the low, I have the 23 and he has the full 2343. And then with the
I think this is a great example of
I
something.
have
Let me look.
27 and he must have the whole.
Yeah, this
He
is
has the-
this is
yeah, so he
good
compromises me on all three.
because we get to see a whole dynamic
So where
here.
I done and you complete.
So Tony, so we have a bunch of 2343s here. That's juicy and nice. So Tony has the whole thing. You have half of it,
That means filled in, correct?
huh?
That means filled in.
Yes, he has the whole channel filled in.
When it's not filled in, does it mean you don't have it, or you just?
Yeah, well, everybody has everything, but it's not defined. It's not an aspect of your definition and what you're here to be living out.
Okay.
I don't like to say someone doesn't have something because that's not actually accurate. But I think I do say that, so I just want to be a little more clear. Thank you for. So if you have the whole 2343, you have that geniusy freak thing, right? You also have that not really listening to people, especially if you're in that mode. You probably listen better when you're in your little caring business. And you have half of it, right? Now here's an interesting piece of this. So you are one of the people that has the head and ajna defined, right? You have the 61 to the 24. And then you don't have any definition. You have a couple of gates,
I have a.
but you
that's the-
don't
the
have,
gate on the far right of the
Yeah.
triangle, half of, and then I have the 23.
right.
So it's like staggered.
So you have the 23 and you have something in here, but you don't have a full channel. So this head ajna bit is cut off from your throat. Often what that produces is that you can think all the things you think, but you can't necessarily talk about any of them. It can be very difficult. It can be a difficult thing to have. Now, when you meet someone who has the 43, guess what happens? You can just talk all that stuff that's been stuck up there. So you married him. Now, when you first met him, you just thought it was probably not that you thought this, but the experience you had was he hooks you up, right? And at first, it probably felt super, super good until you realize, well, he's not really paying attention to you half the time when he's thinking, when you're talking
How many
about
times
what
did I
you're
say that?
thinking.
You didn't remember. Are you having a hearing problem or memory problem?
So I do want to say to everybody, and I think you had said this, anyone who carries individual definition has a level of deafness inside of them, because individual definition is not meant to be influenced. It's meant to bring mutation to the world. It's meant to bring what is new. And so what I would say if I were counseling you in your marriage is that find your times. Because if he's in his 23-43 or his 28-38, both of those are individual, and he's not actually listening, even if his caring channel is telling him he should be. So find your times, right?
When the 6 is open for business.
When the 6 is open for business.
That's right.
Is the light on?
Gosh.
That's right. So what we're seeing about Tony is that there's a lot, even though he comes across as very caring, and you do. Like since I first met you, I felt that caring channel. Like maybe you lead with it or something. But what we're seeing is there's a lot of subtlety where actually you can be quite closed and quite, we would say maybe even introverted. And that knowing that about you and finding the ways to communicate for you to be able to say, I know that you're talking and I actually can't hear a word you're saying, and I don't want to hurt your feelings about that. Because we emotional people get our feelings hurt, and it's real. It's not a little thing.
You know, the other thing that's kind of interesting is and maybe it's because the ego being hooked up for me, I'm always like, Tony, stop listening to what other people have to say. You have it inside of you. You need to express it. Express it. Like, share it.
Interesting. Interesting.
So I'm kind of like
His cheerleader.
I'm like,
yeah.
how do you really feel? Can you identify it? You know?
So that's a very interesting thing that you just said. How do you really feel?
Right.
And people who have open emotional systems often don't actually know. And people who have completely open systems really might not know.
Or really know too much.
They know all the feelings, but not necessarily how they feel about you or how they feel about the thing that just happened. Now, a friend of mine who does not know human design, but who teaches personal development, and she has a completely open emotional system. She doesn't know all of this. She said she developed when she would ask people, well, how do you feel? And they would say, I don't know. She would say almost quickly, almost like, what's it called when you say something that you
Retort?
not subversive.
Reactivity?
No, like
Subconscious answer? Or?
no, like if you're watching a show and pictures come on that you can't see, subliminal, like almost subliminally, how do you think you feel? And they'll answer. Yeah. But you don't say, how do you think you feel? Because then they start thinking. You almost say the think subliminally. How do you think you feel? How do you feel? Nothing happens in them. How do you think you feel? Like just poof, like just as she said, it works.
It's kind of like, well, if you did know, what would it be?
Yeah, but they don't like that.
They don't like that.
I tried that.
Okay.
They don't like that. I don't like that. It feels pejorative. Yeah. And for people, like, I'm emotionally defined, I care more about feelings than most anything else. It's just true. And I think we talked maybe in the first one, like, I've had relationships where they just dropped me and I couldn't understand it because we had all these fun feeling things. And when they weren't with me, those fun feeling things were not even in them anymore. Right? Yeah.
So I got a terrible thing to say about myself about that. So
Good.
my girlfriend,
Get juicy.
we've been together for like 7 years, right?
Uh-huh.
We had like this great weekend. It was her birthday and everything. We had a great weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday, I broke up with her. She's like, "We had such a great weekend, like, yeah, we did, you know, like we did have a great weekend." And I was, I purchased it. But afterward, I was like,
But I'm
"The
done.
relationship needs to end." I just, yeah. And she was like, "What the?" And I'm like, but I was clear about it.
And had that been going on for a while, and then you were finally clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe you weren't letting her know about that.
No, we were talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a comeuppance for me to realize that we are all so very different in what we see, in how we view relationship,
Yeah.
in, the relationship that I have with you is not the relationship you have with me.
Yeah.
It's just an entirely different thing, and even if we talk it out, we don't necessarily know what's going on.
That's right.
So, and that's one of the reasons, particularly for me, that human design is so precious, because I can always see the mechanics. And the mechanics are neutral. Me getting mad at someone for their mechanic is absurd. It's like getting mad at the table for having legs. I mean, I suppose I could cut the legs off, but why would I do that? Then I'd still be mad at the table, because it didn't. That's a silly example, but being able to return to the mechanics and go, okay, this is actually what's going on. Louis, you were so available to me that day, and now you won't even call me back, and it's been 3 weeks. Well, I had the 59.6 in the transits that day, and since then I've had no transits. And then I go, he's a reflector, and you don't need to understand that, but that gives me a real relationship with Louis. Not the one that I think I want, or that I should have, or that I'm trying to project on, but it's like, if I want to have a friendship with someone who's a reflector, I got to figure out what that means. What is that? What does that entail? And if you get mad at someone for their mechanic, don't be in relationship with them, because it means you don't like them.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of like that's great advice, but the truth is that you do get mad at them for the mechanics. That's the thing that triggers in humans, right? It's like, if you're different, you operate a particular way, that's where the focus is, that's where you're going to get upset. I mean, so to say don't get upset.
Okay, that's a great point, and I'm glad to tease that apart a little bit. I can get mad at Louis because he won't call me back, right?
Which is mechanics.
No.
No, that's a feeling.
That's a situation. The mechanic is, I look at his chart and see what is going on here, that this person would be completely unavailable to me for 3 weeks.
Well, was it?
And then I don't get mad at him for his mechanic. I can be mad because he doesn't call me back.
I understand that. But okay. I don't know as much as you. If he doesn't call you back, that's his system operating.
Yes.
Which to me is mechanics.
Correct.
So the thing that I would get mad at him is because, dude, I left you like 20 messages, like, fucking call me back, right? And he doesn't call me back, and then when I'm saying fucking call me back, he's even more not going to call me back, right?
That's right.
So it's
because
like,
now you're emotional and he's not.
yeah, exactly. So then it creates more of that thing.
Uh-huh.
But my cussing or my getting mad is my mechanic working. My
Correct.
mechanic's working. So it's like the thing that
both ways.
where we find the conflict, where we find the disruption is in those fundamentals.
Yeah,
That's what
but
this
then
whole
if you
thing's
can
about.
see what it is, you can decide, do I value what's good between Louis and I, or you and I, or
You understand that,
Cassie
yeah.
and I, so that I can respect his mechanic rather than putting him down for having that mechanic.
I think it's So I think that putting him down could be like, I don't have to think that you're a jerk because you don't call me back, but I can be disturbed by it
Or you
and not
can
like
think
it.
he's a jerk for not calling you back. But if you want to be respectful to yourself and to what is and to a friend, and you can look at the mechanics, you can see the mechanic of it.
That's what I'm saying. So then
Yeah.
I look at the mechanics and I'm going, well, I'm not going to call him a jerk. That's not cool. Like, that's how he is. And at the same time, I'm triggered or I'm activated, right?
Right.
Like, so it kind of resolves something. It gives you a deeper understanding.
It gives you a deeper
but it doesn't
understanding.
necessarily resolve.
And you can also, because of the mechanics, look at yourself and say, I'm emotionally defined, and actually I'm not mad. My feelings are hurt.
Yeah, you can understand yourself more, which I think is sounds
Because I have found for me particularly that a lot of times when I think I'm mad, what actually is real is my feelings are hurt. I'm quite tender. But I go immediately to this kind of gruff thing because I'm an 8.
I'm a what?
That's a whole different system of Enneagram 8,
Okay.
which just has this ferociousness about it.
I think with this
Call
specific
myself a Latino.
like situation,
Basically.
you have the 59-6, which is part of like the tribal emotional circuitry,
Right.
which requires that like there's this fuel of need, and you want that support from the other, and so when that's
right.
not there, then that can be really triggering for you, very
That's right.
emotional for you, because the other person is not there to provide the support. But then on like a conscious level, if you understand the mechanics of the other person, then you can kind of get a little bit more of understanding. But overall, that's just kind of the conundrum of relationships.
That's
what I'm
exactly
saying.
right.
It doesn't necessarily resolve.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It doesn't resolve the tension or the conflict. You just have an understanding of it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect.
And
I wanna resolve the conflict.
I am someone who has actually, against everybody's thoughts about me, determined that I will not be in any kind of like your typical live together marriagey kind of relationship unless someone has been at least 8 years in human design, is emotionally defined, is passive in the environment, does not have a head ajna. I will not do it. I don't care if there's tons of lust, I'll do that. But I won't do it because I will not put myself in a situation where I'm mad at someone for their mechanic.
But
And
what
that
if-
I want something that they don't have to give me. Not gonna do it. And I have a friend who keeps falling in love with people. And she wants to fall in love with people. Okay? And I'm like, dude. And she finds these men and they're smart, right? She loves intelligent men, so they're smart, and she starts teaching them human design. And because they're smart, she thinks they're getting it.
Yeah.
They're not getting it. They're not getting it. It takes some time. You have to live it. Having an intellectual understanding of all of this isn't gonna do it. Okay?
Ra literally says
And I
that-
keep saying to her, just stop doing that. Stop doing that. Why do you keep doing that? And she's like, oh, but they're so, and then
But what is that mechanic? What is that design? And what is that mechanic that someone would do that?
she has the 55 that wants to fall in love. When she meets a 39, she does.
It's funny.
A few weeks ago, she called me up. She goes, "I'm never doing that again.
Next time.
I am not going to be in a relationship with someone who has not been in design long enough to be in their experiment and be able to take a look at this with me and go to that instead of whatever the conflict is bringing up."
What were you gonna say with this?
I was just gonna say that Ra says that the smarter you are, the more hard it is to live your design.
That's right.
To live strategy and
Because
authority.
you think you're doing it.
Yeah, it's not about.
It's not. It's being courageous. It's taking a risk to actually not make a decision if you're emotionally defined until you're clear. Of listening to that spleen, even if it's just like telling you what you don't want to hear. And then, of waiting, like how easy is it to wait 30 days for every decision you make?
It's not.
That's
Is it always 30
whole-
days?
reflectors.
Oh.
Way to moon cycle, 29 point whatever.
So you make decisions like real slow?
Hopefully you're not like an Aries or something,
That'd
or
make me
Mars
crazy.
and Aries.
But what you
Just
find
give
is
me the
if
choice.
you are brave enough, if you do have the courage to go, I'm a reflector.
Yeah,
I'm going to try this. I'm at least going to try it for 3 months.
yeah.
You know, what's 3 months? And then go, oh, huh. I actually feel more like me,
Yeah.
you know?
No, I respect people that do that. I just,
Yeah.
don't do it. And I'm like, come on, let's go.
Well, you're emotionally defined, so wait until you're clear. If you're nervous about a decision, you are not clear. It's not hard to know.
Yeah.
It's hard to do because you want stuff. You're afraid of missing out, all the FOMO and everything.
I don't know if that's true.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
You might not have that. Yeah. Do you have a question? I can feel your.
No, I was looking at some other channels.
Yeah.
It's interesting stuff.
What is?
I love that you guys
I
are.
got your chance.
I was just
You
looking
gonna
at
ask
pictures.
It's kind of like diving in the deep end because we went into all of this stuff before
That's
you
what I was
had
looking up online.
the strong foundation. Anyone else have an example they want to take a look at? How are we? What's our? How's
We
our
both
time?
have 2010 5.
20 to the 10. So again, that's just when you have the same thing as someone. As a general statement, there's an ease about that. There's a companionship in that. When you're both doing that, you can feel at ease. Yeah. Yes.
I happen to have 8 of the channels.
You have 8 channels?
Yeah. So I pretty much look like an asshole in most of my relationships. I just do.
Let me see. I
Um,
know, now we're
I was-
all in love with you.
This is me and my husband here, but my chart's right over there.
I don't see your chart.
This is
Oh.
me and Tom, and then
Oh.
that's my chart there.
So you have 1, 2.
So I see.
You
that
don't have 8 channels. Wait.
Oh, I
She has the
can't.
full
One.
integration.
Is that different maybe than? Like,
Oh, because you have all of integration. So that's how many right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's 5.
I counted down there.
6.
List them all.
Yeah.
That's 8.
So where people, okay, let's talk about integration.
Yeah,
That's a good thing to talk about. Who, does anybody have, come back, does anybody have the 34, here, I'll point to them. The 34, the 57, wait, yeah, the 57, the 10, or the 20? You two have the 10.
10th gate.
You have the 10? I wonder, my daughter has all of them but the 10.
Oh.
I'd be curious. Do you have any of that? Do you have any of that?
I think I have the.
I think you might have the
I think I
34.
have the 34.
Yeah.
So
I
basically,
found my chart.
Okay, good. I can tell you quickly what's
I don't
going
know.
on there. You have the 57 to the 10, so you have part of it.
Okay.
So integration, which again is the 34 to the, see it goes 34 to 57, 30,
Yeah.
34 to 57 to 10 to 20. It's the only system in human design that has 4 different gates that are all connected to each other. The rest of all of the gates have one gate connected to one other gate. It's called integration. I actually don't know why. It is part of individual circuitry, so it has the mutative quality to it. It is very, in a way, self-absorbed. So anyone who has any of that has a self-absorption quality to them. If you have the 34 to the 20, that is the primary manifesting generator channel. It is a channel where thoughts must become deeds.
Which channel?
34 to the 20.
Oh.
It's a
It's
big
the
one, yeah.
sacral going directly up to the throat center.
I'm gonna color it in though.
It's cheating.
I don't
Now.
yet, but I will.
That's right. I have. What's else? What's the other one I need?
I'm gonna, and Nolan, I might need your help with keynotes at any given time.
Sure, please tell me.
The 34 I know because I have that. It's the power to empower.
Oh, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger has that channel.
Well, I'm just talking about the gates now. I just want to name the
Oh,
gates.
pardon. Yes.
So the 34 is the power to empower. The keynote for individuality is empowerment. Individuality is not looking for support. Support is, let's do this together. I'll support you, you support me, and we'll touch each other, and then we know we're supporting. Individuality, which is mutative, right? Remember, it's transformational. It can bring in something new into the world. It's looking to be empowered. That's the you go girl, you go boy. That's empowerment, not you need me to help you get there. It's go, you got this. Empowerment. So the 34 is the power to empower. The 57 is what? It's intuition. Help me, Nolan. What's the keynote? 57 is intuition.
That's for the spleen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's intuition. It also has the fear of tomorrow in there, which is peculiar. The 10 is the love of the world and the love of being in the world, but it's also, what is a keynote for the 10? It's all the 10 has all the roll gates.
I like, don't ask me Jesus
I don't know the
questions.
keynotes that well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
The-
you would know that one.
and the
better than
20
me.
is the now.
Yeah.
I know that one. The 20 is the now.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has that.
So
That 34.
empowering intuition for myself in the now.
Yeah.
When you have all of integration, Cassie,
Mm-hmm.
empowering intuition for myself right now. Empowering intuition for myself right now, because this is the gate of identity. Okay. My daughter doesn't have the 10. Empowering intuition now. Doesn't know who she's doing it for. If someone has all of integration, they can be very, very self-absorbed and not available. That's why you can get so much done if you don't let people bother you.
Yeah.
Which I think you don't, because I write to you and you just answer whenever you do. And I know you have integration, so that's perfectly acceptable for me. That's an example of me accepting someone for their mechanic. She has all integration. She's going to be focused on her stuff and not get back to me even if I want her to until she's ready. Unless
What's
she
that-
goes
which one's
against
that?
herself, which I
It's that
actually
whole
don't
thing.
want her to do.
What is it?
It's the 4 gates.
The 34 to the 57 to the 10 to the 20.
It's that whole side piece with 4 gates.
It's one system,
Purple.
and it has 4 gates connected in, and it's called integration.
Cool. You have that.
Yeah, this is Lewis's, but
So
yeah.
if somebody just has one of those gates, like the 34, I have the 34, like you, okay?
I have the 57.
Oh, you have both, so that's
No,
different.
just the 47.
Oh, you just have the 57.
Yeah.
Anyone else have just the 34?
Like this 34 is just.
The 34 is hard to carry. It has so much power. And the power of the 34 is not refined. It's not lovely and kind and generous. It's just raw. All my life people have said to me, "You're so powerful," and most of my life I felt like nothing and nobody, right? So I would just go, "What? Why would you even know I'm here, much less think I'm powerful?" I see it now. I carry the 34. There is a lot of power in it, and it is not refined. And so how I experience it is like this motor that's running and has nowhere to go. I literally, like here, I work here now I have 1 month left. It's very hard work. I just run, 8 hours, I just run. My friend, my roommate Jeanette, who I'm staying with, she has Find My Friends, and she said she watched me the other day when I was at work, and I was doing this. I was literally, she saw the little avatar running in circles. And it's true, and it takes that much to get me exhausted. I just have so much energy. Now, when I meet someone who has the 57 or the 10 or the 20, it can go somewhere.
What
Right?
happens if you have that 34 hooked up to the 57, but you, here it is, like that? Does it have anywhere to go? Is it like just frustration when you have all that energy and it doesn't connect anywhere?
Well, it is connecting. It's connecting to the 57 and to the 10.
Okay. So it doesn't have to continue on to a center?
No.
Okay.
No,
So that would give the person lots of
that's a
energy?
whole channel. Yeah, and it means different things. Like the 34 to the 57 is called the archetype of being human.
Okay.
These are people. That's you, yeah. These are.
I don't have the
You just have the 57. Oh, I empower your intuition. Yeah, bet you like that. I like it too.
Architect of being a human?
I like meeting anybody who has a hanging gate in integration because I can just pour it out somehow. With you, it's like I don't have anything for you because you have it for yourself. Same with my daughter. I want so much to be able to give to her, to feel like purposeful still as a parent.
So my whole family has the 34 and like different parts of the 34 connecting to something else. But I'm not.
You don't need any of it. No, you
That's
got
true.
your
I
own.
was always separate from my family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because you have your own whole deal. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Whereas my daughter has all of it but the 10, so if she were to meet like Lewis, it would be like, whoa, I know who I am now.
That's cool.
Yeah. So when I come across a 57, I empower your intuition. When I come across a 10, I empower you to love yourself. When I come across a 20, I empower the now. I empower you right now. Right now. Right now. Whereas Cassie, she has the whole system. I think it's really important for you to be aware that you are that defined and how people might be experiencing you, and it might really help you to understand the weird feedback you've probably gotten.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, in most of my relationships, that thing is coming up.
Yeah.
Although I notice some of my most easeful relationships, we don't have as much. A lot of my relationships, it's like a stack of compromise channels.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas some of them are more minimal.
And it so often happens where someone who has very little definition, someone like Nolan over there, will go to be in a relationship with someone who has loads of definition because it feels safe. Oh, I know where I'm going. I know this, I know that, but it's actually just a chimera. It's not even real. What produces the best, I won't say the best, the relationships with the most ease is when you have more alike. So find someone else who has a whole passel of channels. Find someone who has all of that integration. At least that. That, because then you could work all day and they would work all day.
Yeah.
Right? Like my daughter, she has the 3420. She also has a 57, but she married a 3420. They do their thing all day. They have separate wings of the house and they're both just busy doing their thing all day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And neither one of them is mad about that.
Yeah. That's kind of my marriage.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas when you're with someone who has a lot of integration, you can get mad at them if you don't know their mechanic because you think they should be giving you attention. And it's not how they're designed.
I would probably just add that you have to do strategy and authority.
Exactly.
You can't kind of just build your own person. Just say.
What do you mean build your own person?
I can. No.
I mean,
I'm
we can
actually,
in our minds, but like, I mean, it's just for
It's
me.
true.
In my,
Listen to
in my,
him, don't
in my,
listen to me.
in my experience, I've come across a lot of 28s, and I'm a 38, and it's not easy.
No.
And I'm trying to avoid 28s. But my strategy and authority is like bringing me towards a 28. So what am I gonna do?
Well, and it's a good point, because I, as a 28 who love 38s, have an open spleen and a defined root, right? So what that gives me is someone who'll work stuff out with me and give me a feeling of safety, because I get a spleen defined. What it probably feels like to you is you just get root pressure.
Yeah.
I want you to work this out. I want you to work this out. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Huh.
So then what do we do in a situation like this? Like, I don't like it. I don't want it, those 28s. They pressure me all the time to work shit out in their relationship, and then if they're emotional, they want to feel things around me and stuff. What I would say about that is, whenever possible, just step back and see it rather than getting embroiled in it. Because anything that we have that's white, the 38 for you and for me, it's what we're here to see. It's actually not what we're here to do anything with necessarily. Yeah. And so the next time some you have the 38 or the
I have a 38.
So next time some 28 shows up, rather than engage with them just because they want you to, wow, that 28 showed up and already they want to work shit out with me and nothing even happened yet. Already I feel pressure just because they came in the room.
And it wouldn't it also be the opportunity, like in that relationship, for the 38 to say, I see you 28,
Yeah.
and that might be enough?
It depends who they are. You know, we all are bringing who we are.
That's the 28 speaking right now.
And yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Like,
if a
it is
38
like-
turned toward me and said, I see your struggle and that you're looking for some meaning in this, I don't have it for you, I would feel very satisfied, actually. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, like at least meet me on the edge of the.
Yeah, just
the
if you
transition and say, I
if you
see
see
it
that
there.
I'm going through this thing, even if you don't want to engage with me, yes, that is satisfying. Yeah.
As someone with, again, 38 defined 5 times, I can't tell you in how many relationships I have said, like, something, I'm going to paraphrase here, something along the lines of, like, you know, I want to give you something, but I can't at this time, you know what I mean? Because I'm going through something, I don't have the space for it, you know?
Yeah.
And like, in more than half the time, that actually works pretty well.
Yeah.
People will just, you know, like, what are
Yeah.
they going to do? Try and take from an empty pot? It's like, I don't got the resources. That's the
That's
word I
right.
usually use. I don't have the resources to give you what you need right now. And so then they,
You
most people
know,
get that.
I have found, and I've said this before, that a lot of what it takes in order to be truly in the human design experience and just without people doing what they do is finding sentences. You know, it's like, okay, this is my design, and people, there's a lot about me that people don't like, right? Like, for example, I'm not going to go into this, but we can go into this if anyone ever wants to at some point. There's a thing in human design called primary health system, and it tells you how you're designed to take in food, to take in people, to take in experiences, basically to nourish your brain, which nourishes all the rest of you, okay? Well, my primary health system is take in this much. 5 different foods, 5 different people. I read the same book over and over. I watch the same movie over and over. There's maybe 10 foods that I eat. And people, and I'm picky, right? And people don't like it. I mean, can you remember all those shows on TV when there's a picky eater? They're the one everyone's making fun of.
So if we say, hey, we're going to get Indian food, you're not going.
I'm definitely not going.
Yeah.
Because if I go, everyone's going to be mad at me. And I don't like eating all that food anyway.
Right.
Like, did you see Big Bang Theory? Sheldon doesn't like to eat. He's picky. And we think that's something to ridicule. We kind of ridicule it in a funny, endearing way because we sort of like Sheldon even though he's weird. But that's just weird and we think we have every right to ridicule. Well, I'm Sheldon. I don't eat all of that.
So it's a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Just like
To the
breathing.
point where I was with my daughter, right, who's known me her whole life, right? And we were somewhere and I said something like, oh, I can't eat that, I'll really get a stomach ache. And she said, oh, is that why you're picky? And I said, well, yeah, if I eat stuff, I feel bad. Why do you think I don't like? Well, I thought you just liked being picky. Why would someone like being picky?
Right.
There's no upside to that. I don't get any good thing from being picky. I get people being mad at me and ridiculing me. But what I finally realized from that was, oh, I say I have a sensitive stomach and there's very few foods I can eat without feeling
you go.
bad.
Yeah.
And then people accept it.
Yeah.
It's just a sentence, but it changes the whole reality. So find the sentences like Nolan says, I don't have the capacity
I don't have the
to
resources. You
to
gotta
do
give
that
them.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now. And I see you're going through something, good luck.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, whatever it is. And depending on what kind of relationship you have with someone, you will go a little farther to maintain the relationship. Like you, Tony, when you just have no capacity to listen.
Yeah.
I can't actually listen to you right now. I'm really involved in my own thoughts, and I still love you.
Yeah.
You know, you could just add that one little sentence. Whereas if it was something you didn't care about, you don't have to add that sentence. Because then they'll just go away and you'll be happier. But you might not want to hurt the feelings of this person that you do actually care about. Yeah.
So is that an adjustment or a compensation, or is that really what's present, like what you're talking about? Is that something like a person like you actually have to learn, or do you actually experience that? So you're actually being honest about that
Well, it's
thing what you're talking
it's
about.
kind of new to me actually to think about it in this way
Right.
because of my caring part. I always think that I'm a really good listener or whatever. But I keep getting feedback that I'm not hearing things or that I'm missing things.
Right.
And so it's like, and so I've been kind of confused by that. But this is helping me kind
Yeah.
of understand a little, like enlighten me a little bit. I'm like, oh, I
And this is what I call liberation through limitation.
yeah.
Because the caring part of you, and maybe all the other people in your life, think that there's something that you should not be doing, which is not listening to them. You should not be not listening, right? You should be listening. But now to recognize you have a limitation, and your limitation is that you don't always listen, and that can set you free, and then you can find the sentences and the communication skills to communicate what's going on with you so that you can maintain your relationships whilst being true to yourself.
But also wouldn't that be to go, you know, I'm gonna develop my ability to listen
No.
as well. Why not?
Because he's got to be who he is. There are other times that he will be able to listen, but not at some times.
Well, of course, I'm not saying, but as a person in a relationship, and then you're saying, you look at your thing and it says, you're not, I don't think you said this, you're not a good listener. I don't think that's what you said. But you have a capacity of listening that's very natural, and then you have room to grow. So developing that room to grow area,
I just don't see it that way.
okay.
I see it as you are who you are. And if the room to grow, what I would say, if we want to put that terminology, is recognition of himself. He's a generator. I'm a generator. I'm here to see myself. Recognizing I have different capacities for different things at different times. and I can be honest about it.
And be
Yeah, no,
triggered.
I'm not suggesting you don't be honest about it. That's not what I was saying.
But I don't
yeah.
think Tony has to think that he needs to be a better listener.
Interesting.
I just don't. He is the listener. He's listening now.
I understand that, yeah.
You know, whatever that means, because I'm saying something that he's recognizing. I can see
It
it.
can benefit him. It's
Yeah.
also something that can benefit
Yeah, because he
him, right?
wants to know himself. He's a generator.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing,
Yeah.
right? And Sophie, who's the one that goes, why won't he just listen to me, can go, oh, he actually has a mechanic in his being that does not listen, and it is important for him because he is someone that can bring something new into the world, and I do not want to live in a world that there is nothing new in. So I'm going to be empowering of him to be him and find a way that I can maybe call out, I don't know, do some magic, call out his caring thing when you see that could be available. You know, get to know each other. Get to see. She has it too, by the way. That 6124 up at the top, you're not listening when you're in that. Right?
And I think a lot of that comes down to acknowledging the true value of individuality.
Yeah.
And if you ever meet someone that only has those channels,
Oh my God.
like my teacher,
Yes.
I mean, Ra Uruhu is one of
That's
them.
right.
Like,
That's right.
new things only come into the world through individuality.
That's right.
Period.
Only
You know, I
come
come
into the
through-
world through what?
Individuality.
Oh, through individuality.
Yeah. Ra Uruhu, the one who brought human design, he was a pure individual. He had only individual channels.
Wow.
If we had sat down and said, you have to listen to me, you have to listen to me, human design would never be.
That's cool.
We don't want to stop that.
I did watch the YouTube video
Yeah?
that he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Right?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
To listen to that.
Yeah.
And his whole experience.
Yeah, and his voice, you know, to
Yeah.
me, he's the voice.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? He talks about the voice. To me, he's the voice.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
listening to that. Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
that's cool.
That is also part of the new frequency that we're going to have coming in.
That's right.
2027, there's going to be a lot of deafness in the world.
That's
The what
right.
year?
That's right.
February.
Next
The
February?
rave.
The
Yeah.
global cycle. The new global cycle.
And it's
Whole new
already like
cycle.
people are becoming more deaf now.
Well,
Not
well,
quite yet,
Not
or
but
more
What does that mean,
telekinesis.
deaf? What does that mean?
I've always had that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think something to someone.
There's
and
there's
oh, they
there's a
didn't hear
lot
me.
of I actually have a little booklet that I wrote, and it's called Liberation Through Limitation: How to Unfuck Your Mind. And I'm now I'm just going to put it out for free on my friend's website, and I'm going in and putting photos and doing this whole thing now to get it. It's very hard for me. If it were on a piece of paper, I could do it, but it's hard for me to do it, so I can only do it for so long. But my whole premise is that our minds have been trying to tell us to be who we are not our whole lives.
Right.
And we can actually, and it's an adversarial relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
to-
they're
and to
they're
go
mad
back
at
to
us.
that, it's about efficiency of your own energy system.
Yeah,
right?
nice. I like that.
So if I'm trying to be something I'm not, that's an enormous burden on the system, and it starts to kind of bleed off energy that could be used for other things.
That's right.
So I can see where that. So I understand the inclination, but I think you're right. I think it's more social conditioning or whatever. that
It's
we're-
both social and genetic.
Okay.
We talked one time about the genetic imperative, and the genetic imperative says, make strong babies so we'll survive.
Mhm.
You make strong babies by getting together with someone who you're not alike. Different gene pools make the strongest babies. And somehow our mind interprets that genetic imperative as, if we're different than who we are, we'll be stronger. And it's just not true. I'm stronger being who I am, not being
Absolutely.
who I'm not.
Yeah.
And so what I've been practicing is turning my mind, the things my mind is saying me, from adversary to ally. And I'm finding it's working. It's pretty actually phenomenal. So I tell my mind what it gets to talk to me about. And basically what I have given my mind to talk to me about is it can be a commentator. you know, like a sports commentator, and they just hit the ball all the way over the net. My mind can do all of that as much as she wants. You're walking, you're teaching now. Look, you just stood up. Your arm moved, you know, it can do all of this. It's not allowed to say bad things about my body. It's not allowed to tell me what to do or make decisions. It's not allowed to tell me I should be different or try and prove myself to anybody or improve myself, because I have an open ego, which is very clear about that. And it can talk to me about what's going on with the body, because sometimes I get so involved in being athletic because I have so much energy that I won't notice that my ankle is hurting or that I have to go to the bathroom or that I'm parched and dehydrated. So I've said to my mind, you can tell me I need to get water. You can tell me we need to pee, because I forget. I just keep. And then one day, and I've been doing this for a couple of years, one day I was walking along in London and my mind said, your ankle is hurting, the body's ankle is hurting, we need to stop. And then my mind said, we love our body. We need to take care of her. It was the first time my mind had said that, right? And now it likes that because I got so happy. It's like now there's three of me, right? There's like the body and the mind who's talking all the time, and then there's the thing that's me, who I guess is watching all of it. Yeah.
When you had that experience, was that after your 7 years? Or was
Yeah, it was more like 14 years.
Okay.
It was after 14 years, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was also after consistently training my mind what it was allowed to talk to me about.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they do stuff like that in gestalt therapy, you know, where you identify the certain parts that have like certain belief systems, and if you can, you know, rally some of them, basically, you get results like that.
Yeah. I've actually developed this whole thing where I keynote all the gates that are open in a chart, and I keynote all the gates that are defined, and I have seen that all of the sentences that my mind is fucking with me with are literally the keynotes that are not me.
That are not defined.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones that are,
Yeah.
are causing the
It's
trouble.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I can do it for other people where I just look at the keynotes and I start telling them the sentences that their mind tells them. And they're like, how do you know that? And then we look at the things we should be telling ourselves. Yeah.
Which are the active gates.
Which are the active gates. That's right.
To reinforce
Right.
more of what we really are.
Right.
So
Like I have this whole pattern when I get my feelings hurt, often, or I'm misunderstood. This is a big trip for me. You don't understand. You're not listening. You don't understand. I start whining and carrying on. It's just horrible. And one of the things that I do is I'll go to very strong logical opinions, and I will try and force my logical opinions into your mind so that you will listen and understand me now. How well do you think that's worked for me in my life? I don't have the gate of opinions. However, I do have the gate of intimacy, right? So it works a lot better if I actually soften my body and allow just me to be there and to discover. I have the channel of discovery, what's actually going on. Yeah.
Which one's the gate of opinions again? That's
17. Yeah, it's real easy to run to the 17 and 18. I'm going to correct how you're not listening and understanding me by giving you my opinions about things. It doesn't work. And I did it for 50 years before I even noticed.
How does that compromise play out? Like if someone has the whole of the channel.
The 58, 18.
Yeah, like I have the 18, and I know someone that has the whole.
Yeah. You know, that's a tricky channel because you weren't here last time. Nolan has the 58 as his sun gate, and it's also a love gate. It's the love of correcting in order to help people be the best thing. Someone gave me a word for that. It's faceting a diamond. So you're seeing someone as the rough diamond, and you want to facet it so they
you
can
want to
shine.
perfect others. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's how you love them. Yeah, that's very true.
Uh-huh. People who have that channel particularly often do it very badly. And I would say that the first thing is to help them realize it's a projected channel and it has to be invited. You know, all of it must be invited, period, really. Yeah.
She's got the 18. I know Anna. So I'm
He has
curious.
the 18.
Oh, you have the 18?
I have it.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does that receive from the 58th then? Since it's like 70%.
Well,
like-
they might be
Fair enough.
two of the people whose diamonds you could facet and they could receive from you those corrections because they hold the value of that correcting to make things
So actually,
work
this brings
better.
up a question I always forget to ask.
Good.
Like, including you one day, and it always evaded me. So I've got a lot going on in this route here, obviously. I've got like over 10 like different gates defined, if not 13, I think, in my route. And then my only channel is channel transformation, right? And so my question was like, so all of the gates that are activated in that route, and the spring too, do they have like a relationship or an association when I'm running the channel transformation? Does that make sense? So like if I'm running my inner authority,
Are all
part
the
of
other
it,
gates part of it?
right? Are they a part of that? Because what I find is when the channel transformation happens, is that 58 comes online. Does that make sense? And I feel like it's a part of that somehow, but I'm not able to quite
I'm going to go with
dissect
yes.
it a bit. Does that make sense to figure out? But it feels like it's what's the right one to use here? I feel like it's a good thing. Does that make sense? Like I feel like that's you losing the word here. Like what's the word for like that's the proper way it should happen? Maybe
Correct.
is what I'm
It's
trying to think of. You know what I mean?
it's yeah.
But they don't have a way to relate with the channel transformation directly. So it's like, but somehow when that comes in,
But the
they
way
all
that
come
they
in.
have to relate is through you,
Right.
because you're the one that's holding it all. You know, that's the other thing is that, you know, most of us in this room at least are generators. And it's so easy to say, oh, you're a generator, I'm a generator, we're alike somehow. And yet, depending what channel each person has, is a very different generator, and that's what they're going to have energy for. And so your root, I want to say root bound. So you are predominantly a root person, and because it's activated all the time, because you also have the channel that activates your root, all of that would be available to you.
Because what I noticed is my channel transformation, both of the gates are line 2, remember?
That's
and
right.
So it's very like interior for me.
Oh, right.
And then when that happens,
it could be a very
the
introverted,
58
yeah.
flips on me. Does that make sense? It's hard to explain.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
And then I
So you
start becoming the diamond that I try to
that
facet
you're trying
for
to
myself.
facet.
Yeah. But then the projector is like, well, you're not supposed to look at yourself.
And what?
You're supposed to look at the other, you know what I mean? But to be honest with you, I've had unreal success with looking inward because
Yeah.
of the double. I think it's the double line 2 of the channel,
Yeah.
channel transformation, and when it comes in
What's
turbo
your
like
profile?
6-2.
6'2", so it's a 6 line in the 58.
Right. Yes, and then line 2 for 54, because I always forget this one.
58,
54 and
52.
32 are line 2, and so it's like, from what I've read about that, the whole channel that is introverted.
And 52 would be your Earth, is that right? 58 is 52.
The one under that. 52 is my Earth, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. But 54 and right, 54 32 is the channel transformation.
Right.
They're both line 2, and then 58 is line 6. And I've noticed that like it flips inward for some reason. And for a long time, I thought it was the channel transformation that I was like going inward. And now I'm realizing that it's just getting activated, or
Right.
something's happening with the channel transformation, and then my 58's getting flipped, I think.
And I wonder,
Which I'm not
I'm
even
curious
sure.
because
Could
it's
be
a
totally-
6 line, what it's actually doing that you won't know until you're 50. Until you hit that third line phase,
Yeah.
that third phase.
So there's definitely always a drive to
Yeah.
be like what I want to guide other people. Does that make sense? Like I don't feel honorable if I'm not the thing that
you have to be the thing.
Right, I have to be it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it creates
because
a
it's
weird.
never about.
Right,
Yeah.
but it creates a weird dynamic as a projector because you're not
Right.
supposed to put that much focus on the self as much as the other. But then I'm like really big on like
Yeah, but the
self-awareness.
thing
You know what I
is-
mean? I'm like,
The thing is I have a friend, my friend Lily, who I've been referencing a bunch. She's a projector, and she's been in design maybe 16 years, like a year less than me. And she's looked a lot at not only design, but what is it to be a projector?
right, yeah.
And she takes a little grain of salt, I'll say, about projectors shouldn't look at themselves. Of course they should. It's just that they look at the generator to see what comes back, mostly generators. They look at the other to be able to see themselves.
Because they're gonna absorb it anyway.
Yeah, there's just like, I don't understand it because I'm such a generator. I don't even have a projected channel.
And that was actually something I was thinking about earlier. Was like the projector, like it's the most complex. Like you can have a myriad of different types of projectors.
Exactly.
And I was, when you were
It's
talking about
really
generators, I was
complex.
like, I can't even think of projectors that I go along with. I was
Right.
like, that I feel akin to. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm
Well,
sure openness to
there's the
that.
classic projector has a motor.
Right, yeah, yeah.
So you have the root, so you'd be a classic projector. Then there's the projector that doesn't have a motor, which has a different name that I can't remember.
Self-projector.
Self-projector.
Then
Mental projectors.
no,
Self-projector.
that's a different one. There's
Okay.
4 different ones. It's like you could be a projector having spleen to throat. There's no motor involved, but you're a projector, right? Then there's the self-projector, and then there's the mental projector. They're all very, very different.
Super different people.
So different.
Mechanics, yeah.
And the self-projector seems the differentest of all to me. Like when I meet a self-projector,
very
they seem
peculiar.
very different from all the other projectors.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is like there's a trade. Sorry. pardon.
I was just wondering, what are self-projectors like?
G-center defined projectors to throat always actually,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
always, yeah.
Above the G.
Yeah.
If there's any center, I just
And then
don't
the
get
other
is
thing,
G-center.
the other
Just
thing with
don't get
carrying
it.
all that root is that people are going to feel pressured by you all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I just
Nothing
had
to do
Daniel
about
Daniel
it.
Cheyenne. Daniel got upset with me today. He's like, I always feel like you're pressuring me to do something. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
well, yeah. Yeah, that's correct.
I actually am.
Yeah. But you should do it. And I was being my mouth self. You know, I thought not
But
being
people,
invited.
people will
He got so
feel
upset.
pressured by you,
That's awesome.
even if you're just in the room
And he ended up
doing
doing it
nothing.
anyway next week,
Yeah,
sorry.
not even conversing with them.
Yeah.
The pressure.
That's because of the root being defined.
My root
Yeah,
has
his
like
root is
13
defined,
definitions.
very defined.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's always a drive or a pressure to do so. It's like it's the
Make it happen.
Ultimate.
well, there's no
triple
energy to
target.
do it. That's why it's really annoying.
Yeah.
It's like all this pressure to like
All this
to do,
pressure.
but no energy for it whatsoever.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah, all this drive, like tons of drive. Like if I was
So
a
much
generator, oh
drive.
god, I could accomplish
So you need
unbelievable
a
things in
crew
the
of
world.
generators.
Huh?
You
can
need
fill
a
it in,
crew of
fill it in.
generators to carry out
Yeah,
your-
then you have to deal with them.
I'd rather just distill my own root, I think, if I could. But serious, you know, the hanging gates, I just want to knock them down somehow if I can. It's a thing, and Ra talks about this, you know, hanging gates are opportunities for, you know, to distill the information. I'm paraphrasing, so Lewis or Tiara can help me remember what the exact quote was that Ross said about that. Because he does talk about how hanging gates are opportunities to kind of like get beyond it. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the thing that you know, hanging gates often want to connect up, but that's really just another not self thing.
It's a not so thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the hanging gate is there to see, but it doesn't need to do anything about it.
Yeah, my theory is it's there to like see itself, but that's it. So,
You know, there's so much we can. What time is it? Do we have time to play a little?
we're at 5:01.
Oh, well, I guess that's that. We could do a little bit. Let's see. Let's just see if any of this,
Well, may I conclude
or maybe
with
I'll
one
bring
thing?
this out for our last meeting.
May I conclude with the one thing I was going to say? before the
Yes,
two
I
center things
want
come
you
up?
to.
So, from my perspective as a projector, with other projectors,
Yeah.
it's like they're so complex and there's so many different ways to be a projector and so many different ways to be defined. Like you can have 8 defined centers in an open gut and still be a projector.
Or two.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, from my perspective as a projector that's like single channel, that doesn't have any like feeling involved, we'll say, for lack of a better term. There are, a lot of projectors that have so much definition that it's like, I don't know how to word this because it's going to sound really heretical, and that's just not me.
Good.
You know what I mean?
You
But,
got
like,
5 somewhere, honey.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at it going, but not all projectors are like maybe the best guides. Like I know they all have the potential. Does that make sense? But if I looked at a projector that had 8 defined centers, you know what I mean, and like an open sacral, I'd be like, well, the amount of like advice that's going to come from this, that's going to be like, that's going to be absorbed, that they could like reflect to somebody, is going to be really limited because there's a lot of differentiation happening. You know what I mean? That's they're going to be projecting onto the person.
I would actually love to say something about projectors and guidance.
Yeah.
It is not anything to do with advice. And I would say 90% of projectors are trying to give advice, and it has nothing to do with advice. It has to do with seeing how particularly generators operate in their energy and helping that energy go where it needs to go. That's all the projector is. It's not a thought process about advice.
So then wouldn't you say that the only type of awareness that's worthy of a generator is sacral based?
I don't know what that means.
So like if that's true, then that means that the only viable awareness and guidance that can be given from a projector has to be sacral based. Does that make sense? And
It's a great question.
right, because if that's not the case,
Because that
then
would,
it means
I would have just said that, right?
Right.
That's what I just would have
that's
said.
what you just said.
Yeah.
In essence. Because to me that's not what it means as a projector.
Okay,
So I don't know if that's because of the projector or if that's because of the open centers. You
Okay,
see what I mean?
so I can only give an example. I mostly
I'm gonna go buy me a projector today. I'm gonna turn it on and figure it out.
like you.
What was he talking about?
You're gonna have to plug it in yourself and turn it on.
I have to buy a Toshiba.
I'm going to make a very heretical statement, and I am a 3-5. I mostly find projectors highly annoying and bullies.
Well, they
Energetic
usually are.
bullies.
They
Yeah.
usually are.
Oh,
And
They're usually master manipulators. And
Yes.
They're usually vampires. Like they're
Yeah.
usually not like. 'Cause
yeah,
most of
it's
them
not.
are
I do
horribly
not
conditioned.
necessarily
Yeah, unfortunately.
like
have-
narcissists and
have a lot of
criminals and stuff?
projectors that I wanna
I don't know about
hang
criminals,
out
but
with.
narcissists,
I have
yeah.
one projector that I have a long-standing. I've brought her up. She's the one that almost killed me with her emotional energy one day, but she's also the one that will go to mechanics with me every time. What I have found is that when she uses her mind to give me advice, I'm going to say, without thinking hard about this, I'm never interested.
When
Like,
she what?
I'm going with 100% of never interested.
Of course. Yeah.
When she
does what?
tries to ask me sacral questions by trying to come up with a yes/no question for me, I'm never interested and it never works. When this is me though, okay? This is my mechanic. When she listens to me and then repeats back what she thinks I've said, I hate that shit. She never says what I said. She changes the words and then means a completely different thing. The thing I love is when she's interested in my process and she just has a conversation about being interested in what I'm going through. Now, I'd say that's going to be different with a sacral generator because I'm emotional. And when I'm not clear, it's an emotional unclarity. It's not about asking me a yes/no question, because that's just going to tell me if I want to eat pizza or not.
Yeah.
It's not going to tell me a long-ranging. I have to be able to go into the feeling of what I'm going through and have someone go there with me. And she can do that, and it's brilliant, and it helps me and it guides me. So it's often, because I am who I am, it's often, where do I go? Because I don't have a home and I'm always going somewhere. And if she can go in there with me and like, not go, oh, Tiara, you like sun, so you should, no. It's she kind of pulls out of me the feelings that I have about what I'm trying to go. So it's guidance for my sacral going somewhere, but it's through the lens of the feelings that I have about it. I can see that you're going, yeah, and you're going, yeah.
And so this kind of like reinforces my theory.
Okay, good. What is
And
it?
my theory is that like all projectors have the potential to be guides, but not all projectors are good guides.
That's true.
Even if they're not conditioned, because like, and I just this last year have been trying to flip this a little bit in my mind and going, so if you're a projector, it just means you're absorbing. That's it. Like, if you really think about it. And how much you're absorbing is the spectrum of like how much guidance you may be able to give that's
Interesting.
effective based on the definition of the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's what makes a good guide. Not because you just happen to be a projector, but
Yeah.
because you might have a larger capacity for awareness because you have less
Yeah.
definition. Does that make sense? Because I've had like
Yeah.
I've talked to projectors that have 8 defined centers, 7 defined centers, and they're like clueless. And we're talking projectors that like have been in human design for years. You know what I mean? And all they want to do is run the definition. You see what I mean? And so their guidance is really limited because they're only absorbing so much. You know, what I mean, the container is smaller. This objective.
Interesting.
You see what I
Yeah.
mean? And I have to look at that and I have to go, well, I mean, there's something they could guide on for sure.
Yeah.
And it's also going to be so dependent on if that generator wants it. Because there's almost nothing worse than a projector coming at you when you haven't invited them and you're not interested and you don't want it, because it's hard to get away from.
Yeah, but not all. I don't. You know, I think the story about how projectors need to wait, like our need to be guides, is also kind of fallacy a little bit. Like, there's nothing about my existence as a being that suggests I need to guide anybody. Does that make sense?
I think
So,
I
like,
think
that's-
if every projector could start there,
That's
we'd
like-
all be better
Yeah,
off.
Maybe I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Maybe I.
Because then what that does, when you said that,
Yeah.
when you said that, Nolan, you became interesting to me. When
Yeah, I
someone's
was
trying to
thinking that too.
guide me or give me advice, I'm like, dude, you're just putting something in me.
Right.
But when you go, I don't know if I want a guide, I'm like, I wonder if he could.
Yeah. Well, the
It made
interesting
you
part-
interesting.
The interesting part about it is like if you take away like the mental template of what we've read about projectors.
Exactly.
And if I just think about like how I operate, like mechanically, then I think, you know, there's nothing really about me that really wants to guide the other, unless I have to be in their aura. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's someone I want to be around because of whatever electromagnetics or definition, and then maybe I'll, you know, wait for an invitation, but if they're not going to give me one, I'm going to leave anyway. So my life really isn't about guidance, actually. It's more about my environment. It has nothing to do with guidance, actually.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Sorry.
I would love it if more projectors
Yeah.
started
That's
right
interesting.
there.
So you
Mine
have,
you know what I mean?
so like in my language, you have a muscle that you could be a really good guide, but you don't really have any desire to be one. Is that
Well,
kind
the
of like what
guidance
you're
doesn't
saying?
come from the muscle; it comes from the lack, if that makes sense.
No, I
Because the
don't.
projector has an undefined sacral, which means the aura is absorbing. Does that make sense?
Not even close.
Okay. So, like I'm absorbing you right now.
Huh?
Like you're. You know,
If
whole
he's
inner world.
focused on
Does that
you,
make
he's
sense?
absorbing you.
Yeah, like I am you in a sense, depending on how much lack of definition I have.
So then,
And
from
so
my
my-
perspective, I would say a guide. So what do you see? Because I would hear that as a
Right.
guide.
But then that would be the invitation. You see what I mean? So hopefully genuine.
Okay, and then, but then, but no, I get what you're saying. But then what you're saying is that but you don't have the need to do that.
Yeah, there's nothing about my system that's like, oh, that's gonna make my life better.
like
Unless
for
I
me,
have to live with you.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
It
So
seems to me
that's
that
interesting. That's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
very
It's like,
interesting.
why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, why? Because I want to be socially good, because I have a belief or an identity around being
That's what we were
socially
talking about
acceptable.
earlier.
You
That's
know?
right.
when you
Why
buy
should I
your
do that?
projector.
Yeah, I'm getting to a Shiva.
And it's not because
You're
I
paid a
mean,
lot.
it's just objective. It's
No,
just
that's
like,
really cool.
And it's not that I don't like you.
Yeah.
I just don't know
And-
you.
and I think
You know
that
what I mean?
the-
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's cool.
I
Some
think
people
that the real tragedy and problem is that projectors are not brought up to understand any of this, and what they mostly feel is a lack of energy and wanting to get it from someone and being pushed away because they have this weird way of doing that, and then they become bitter, and then when they're focusing on us, they're putting all this bitterness inside us, and it's just a tragedy in the world.
But that lack of energy is only a perspective based on what they think they should be, which is based on conditioning.
Generators.
It's them trying to be something they're not.
That's right.
There's no reason why I should feel a lack for something when I am my
That's
limited
right.
self. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
There- and there we
that's the
go.
point, you
That's
know what I mean?
right.
Like I don't have to be in that environment.
That's right.
I don't have
I
to be
think that's
something
pretty
that I'm not.
That's
It is,
absolutely
yeah,
right.
you know what I mean?
I think
Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty
because
badass.
I can
yeah.
go live in the
That's
desert by
badass.
myself
Yeah.
and like absorb a plant and a lizard in the dirt and feel like one with God and never look back. You know what I mean? That's the truth. But I'm conditioned still. You know what I mean? Like I still have a
Yeah.
little bit there where I'm like, how can I be a part of it? Because I'm afraid, what if I die in the desert? You know what I mean? Like, but it's true. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, because there's
That's
no,
right.
yeah, there's
So-
no like feeling thing there that makes me
Yeah.
want to be a part of it because it's
Yeah.
just open. It's displaying
Yeah.
the truth. So it's like,
So in your environment, let's say you're in an environment on a team. I coach athletes and I coach like professional athletes and CEOs and stuff. So, but like there's athletes that I'll coach that they're just like they're doing their thing. They're not really trying to do anything, but everybody thinks that they're like, what's your problem? But they don't need to do
Right,
anything
yeah.
more than their job. Is that kind of like what you're saying?
in essence, I suppose, you know, except it's not about energy. It's just about being the truth of the self. Really.
100%. Yeah, they're not trying to prove themselves. They're like working
Right.
on they're
Well,
enjoying proving themselves to themselves.
Most people, so this is a little bit outside of human design, but I'm sure it's going to fit in really well because I've studied like Jungian psychology for many years,
Uh-huh.
over 6 years.
Yeah.
Most people who have a conceptual idea about who they think they are or what they are will need you to reinforce it so that it can be sustained because it takes energy to sustain an illusion. Does that make sense about
Sure,
yourself?
yeah.
And so if I go to you and I tell you I'm this thing, right? Or if I try to be this thing and you don't like respond to that, that's going to trigger me if I have an idea about what I am that's not true because I need your energy to reinforce it. And that's where the exchange is coming from.
Oh my God, that's
See
so
what I mean?
much of
Or
what
you would need
that's,
somebody to
that's our
actually
whole
understand
world.
you.
That's the
Yeah.
whole world. So most people have ideas about what they are,
Yeah.
and they want you to respond. Because if you respond, you give the energy back, and now it's true. And then the response of like, and this is just.
And
like,
now I want it all the time, all the
Right.
time,
And
all the
so,
time.
Like, my idea of like how New York operates today is like a bunch of people with identities about things, and they all like say, "Well, why don't you tell me your false identity, and I'll tell you mine, and we can just reinforce each other's forever, and we'll never have to look at each other
Ah,
ourselves."
that's an item.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, what fun, man!
Whoa.
Like,
But that's spiritual
interesting.
bypass, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to say New York, but like we'll say society today.
I like
Say
that.
New York. I like New York. I mean, it's.
Thank you for
I think
saying
that
that.
that's a
Sure,
really
sure.
profound
Thank you
thing
for asking.
because it's so easy for us to think that non-energy beings don't have energy, but of course you have energy. You have your energy.
Which is just
Like
charge.
literally, when I look at a reflector chart, it shocks me every time. I'm like, but what is that? But then I look at Lewis, who obviously is brilliant and he exudes this cool thing and says really
Yeah, maybe.
cool stuff when he does, and you know.
I'm very defined right now, but yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen you a few
Have you
times.
seen the
You know.
transit today? It's bonkers. it is.
It's bonkers transit
Oh, it's
today.
like all lit up and it's all personality. It's crazy
Really?
right now. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm an 8 and 1 today with just the transits.
Oh,
it's
wow.
wild. Yeah.
Huh.
So, lots of energy.
That's a complicated bunch of stuff.
But anyways,
That's a whole lot of complications.
I mean,
for
it's
me.
very interesting for someone to come in on this, not hardly knowing any
No,
design
it's,
at
but
all.
it's
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by it. You know.
This guy knows Chetan Parker, but didn't really get into
oh, yeah, okay.
to design, in his own experiment for all the time he's known about
Oh, yeah,
it.
guys.
We're just friends. Yeah, we're friends.
Yeah,
we like.
that's
yeah,
right.
That's cool. He invites me to the programs.
Now you might want to go.
I guess that's right too. I've noticed it takes me 3 or 4 days to get back to like normal energy. So I do have energy. It just doesn't come back very fast. You know what I mean? So
Needs to be protected.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and to conclude on that, to put a period on it, I just have changed projectors to just, non-energy beings, because it's just like trying to look at them as guides and then expecting them to like deliver on that, I think is just unconsciousness, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing about, my existence that really makes me want to, I don't know, I'm always trying not to plug in, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
That's maybe what would make
You know what I mean? And I only want to plug in when I'm like in conditions and I'm in environments I don't want to be in anyway. It's like, maybe if I had split definition, I don't know. But
That's really
why
interesting.
plug in at all? I guess is the part. That's where I'm at in my journey. I'm like, but why?
Was that also the case in your third line phase?
No, my third line phase, I was constantly trying to plug in. I was, yeah.
We can say that you're aloof on the roof.
Yeah, you could say you're aloof on the roof.
Super
Officially.
How old are you?
I'll be 35 this year.
Yeah, so you're definitely.
See, I have clients that do that, and it's fascinating to me that they could do that. They can have they could like just not care about certain things, and I think you should care about those things, but they don't care. But they're not like shitty about it. They're
Right,
not
yeah,
like
yeah.
screw. You're like they don't have any energy about it, and it's just interesting to me where they just have no energy about that. It's like wow, and it's and I admire that. I think that's just a really, really great quality.
Yeah.
But then they'll call me and they'll go like, "This, my wife's upset about me with this, and I have no idea what, can you walk me through this one,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff." So that's what I was saying, like in developing, because that's what I do a lot of, which is people that have certain personalities that, they want to develop themselves. You get drafted. I mean, I have clients right now that just got drafted this last 2 weeks, and so they're like, "Wow, now I've got to figure out the NFL and my girlfriend." It's a whole different world, It's
That's for sure.
but they're so like such great athletes, and that's all. That's like I just want to do this. I like having a girlfriend, too. But they have so much of your personality. It's really cool.
Yeah, I do have if I had more energy, I probably would be an athlete.
Well,
actually
you
was
have
in
an
some
athletic
competitive
channel.
sports.
Those, do you know
Yeah.
that the channels that go from the root to the spleen are called athletic channels?
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah. I am extremely competitive, that's for sure.
Yeah. So you have
You
a
like
whole
why don't you-
channel,
yeah, why don't
and
play
you
the
have
game to
2
have fun?
gates.
Okay, I am, but you're gonna lose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly how they are. Yes. It's like, dude, it's like that's so badass. And then I have people like me that are feelers, and they're like, man, they're like, I just wish I could just cut it off.
Fair enough.
funny.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
get
you
the-
have a lot in all that athletic because you have something in each of those channels.
Yeah.
The whole channel and 2 of the gates.
But it also might just be also being a one as a projector and just being very open. I don't know. For me, it's not about being in it. It's just about, and again, on the roof as well, for sure. You know what I mean? But even when I was a 3 and I was trying to plug in, and I like look back, I didn't really want to. You know what I mean? Like it was like I wanted
I
to.
think that base one
I'm
is
sorry, so
very
much
predominant in that because I
Oh
can
my
relate
God,
to that
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. You know what
I just want to move and see.
It's like I want to love from afar,
Move
and I want to
and
look
see.
at it, and I want to get it, and that's it.
CEOs,
And you're
I'm
one.
talking a base one.
Yeah.
That's right.
You're a
you.
base
She's the
one?
one to
Yeah.
be there.
If we have your time right.
What
think
famous
so.
If you
people, like,
relate
what
to
famous
this.
CEOs are
Yeah, I
you?
think so.
Who's your that archetype is?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, because the base one, it's just about
Steve
moving
Jobs.
and seeing,
Steve Jobs is actually a splitting projector.
and
Yeah.
that
I
does
think so.
not. It doesn't get that close. The 2s get closer. The 2s actually have to go in there and taste things The keynotes of taste come from the base 2, so they're more impressionable in a way. Other people can get into them more.
Well,
I'm just
don't
talking
twos, like-
totally base only.
Yeah, don't twos also want to like start to
They want to build
create,
shit.
build stuff?
Yeah,
you know
they
what I
want
mean?
to.
Yeah.
Because the 1 just wants to keep moving. That's all you
Okay,
want to do. Just
moving
keep
along.
moving. And the 2 is like, wait, I got to think about this. And so they build something where they can go inside, so they can think about things. The 2 bases are the real brilliant people. They're the people that we go to for their brilliant minds. But ironically, the base 2 has a base 1 body because it's 1 down from whatever one you have, and the base 1 is not a strong body. It's not hardly body oriented at all. It's just I have a base 5 body. That's right. So we are the ones that, like, I notice. So the base 5 is like the space holder, right? They are the space in which it all happens. And I have watched my body just go stand places and hold space. I'm not even noticing what's going on. Like, I'm off in some whatever's going on, but my body's there holding space. It's very interesting. Yeah, now we got you going. You have to have a really good birth time, or someone like me who will actually study you.
It's not something that's
I don't know if it's going to be on there. No, that's not going to be on there.
Okay.
But it'll be on the app.
Okay, I just
Yeah, and he knows how to find it on the app.
Okay.
So do that before you go.
Okay.
Which app do you use?
I'm going to give you. Okay, bye.